You're a marked man, Jack.
Get him! Get him!
You owe a lot of money to some bad people. It just so happens I have a solution to your little problem. A race. 3,000 miles from San Francisco to New York. 200 of the best drivers in the world. Winner gets 25 million.
And if I lose?
Then you're dead.
The last couple of years, EA has spent a lot of money to revitalize the Need for Speed series, and you've actually been playing the newest episode, or rather the newest episode in the arcade racer genre of Need for Speed.
Need for Speed The Run.
Called Need for Speed The Run, and it's been quite controversial because apparently there's a story mode in the game.
There's a story. It's about a guy named Jack who's in some kind of trouble with the mafia, and then his friend offers him to front the money so he can join a great big race across the country and win 25 million, of which he'll take 90%. And that's the story. That's it. And if I said any more about it, I would spoil the ending.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean the story is to say it's weak. That would be an understatement. It's paper thin, and really has no impact on what's really going on.
No, but is it really a big part of the game, or is it just, you know, a silly backdrop?
It's most like a silly backdrop, and then every once in a while there's a script sort of sequence where somebody comes in from the side and shoots at you or whatever. Or once in a while you leave your car because you get arrested. Or
Yeah, and apparently there's quick time sequences.
yeah, the out of car sections are cutscenes with quick time events. Luckily, there's only about 5 of those, and I think there's a grand total of something like 40 or 50 races in the story mode. So
let's focus on that.
yeah, because you know the quick time and all is a really tiny part of the game.
But about the racing.
About the racing, it's an arcade racer. It's less crazy arcadey than Hot Pursuit, last year's Hot Pursuit. So you can't go sideways through as many corners as easily as you could there.
Oh.
You still get the boost system, and you still build up nitro by driving in the wrong lane and doing near misses and stuff like that. You know, and it's still very much about getting the tail of your car to swing out as you're going really high speed. But also, you probably need to brake a little more before turns. I think overall, as an arcade racer, I think it's pretty well done.
Yeah, I heard something about that the levels themselves, more than in other car games, are like Hollywood setups of crazy things that happens, and
not so much. There's I've heard some of the developers refer to it as the Michael Bay levels.
yeah.
There is an occasional level where shit blows up. Again, it's like a very minor part, like 5 or 6 of them, I guess, at the most. Some of them are really annoying. One of them is pretty fun, the avalanche level that they've shown a billion times. But most of the racing, by far most of the racing, is just plain straight. Get from here to there and pass a certain number of cars, or get there first, or just time trial and do it before time runs out.
And apparently it's really pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety to the environments. It runs on the Frostbite 2 engine that also powers Battlefield 3, which, when you think about it, sounds odd at first, I guess, because it's a shooting game and it's a racing game. But
Quick tanks.
but there's a lot of variety to the environments as you're driving across the United States, and most of them look really well. The night levels are a little dull, maybe, but there are some. As you're approaching, I think as you're racing through Pennsylvania or something, there's a lot of awesome colors and curvy mountain roads and stuff like that that just looks really, really good.
So undoubtedly this will be compared to the last installment from Criterion, and Criterion have really mastered this sort of arcade racer and pretty much proved it with last year's game.
Yeah, and they also came up with the auto log thingy that, or at least they were first to use it, that really sort of turned offline online racing on its head, and was a great addition to Hot Pursuit.
But how do they compare?
Yeah, the run isn't as good as Hot Pursuit.
Okay.
And I should say probably that I love Hot Pursuit, and it is my favorite arcade racer ever. But I think it's still pretty fun. The thing I'm missing about it, as you're racing through the story mode, you only really have to change cars like 3 or 4 times. And the actual presentation of the cars and what cars you can select, and that I feel like that needs some work. You know, the part I really loved about Hot Pursuit was it was pretty easy. Just, you know, you had that great big map of a menu that you could just, you know, that track looks like fun, and I can pick this car, and hey, we're off.
Yeah.
Whereas here you're more restricted. I mean, when you're picking races, both in the story mode and the challenge mode, you don't actually see a map outline of the track you're going to race, which is a shame.
Strange.
Yeah. Like I said, in the story mode, you're not restricted to only like 4 cars, but there's no real need. The game has a ton of cars, and they're divided into tiers, like tier 1 from tier 5. The story mode starts you at tier 4, which is the second highest. So, you know, that says a bit about where their priorities have been. So no, I don't think it's as good as Hot Pursuit, but I do think it's good.